Hello everyone, this is Lucy. It is January 5th, 2026, and the time of me recording this voiceover audio. But obviously, as you can see, this is the yearly vlog for the year 2025. I usually do these to document how my year has changed, how I've changed. This particular year, 2025, was probably one of the toughest years that I've had at this time. Like 2016 was probably one of the worst years of my life, and 2025 is like up there. And as far as challenges that I've had to go through, so that's why I titled this video, I guess, Year of Transformation, because it really was a huge transformation that I went through. The first couple of months of 2025 were not that bad. They were just, the same, the usual. I was in a 10-year relationship, and this relationship, my life was pretty much the same. It was very mundane. I was kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again. I was stuck with a family that didn't really, I guess, appreciate me and want me around, and with a partner that didn't take any steps or actions to want to improve the relationship with not just myself, but as far as moving forward, us possibly moving out and getting our own place and building a life together instead of just it revolving around his folks. The first couple months I was still living with him, and everything was the same. I was doing my art stuff. I was helping out my folks in any way I could with their stuff, because my folks were also dealing with their things. They had barely come back from Colombia. It had been a year, and they were making moves to decisions to want to move to a new place, and possibly having me move in with them, because they considered my relationship to be stagnant. There was no moving forward, no prospects of marriage or anything serious to happen. So they figured I just kind of wasted my time and I needed to move forward. And if that meant, moving in with them and starting over, then that was that. But obviously I was very reluctant to do that, because I didn't have the best relationship with my folks. In 2016, when I say it was the worst year, was because at that time my folks, they left to be in Colombia, which is where my dad's from. My extended family lives over there. They left me in charge of taking care of the house here in California. They didn't tell me that they were behind on rent and bills and things of that nature. And also I stayed behind to take care of one of my brothers that's schizophrenic. So with all of that in mind, we got behind in bills, and me and my other brother, we tried our best to salvage the house, but we couldn't, and we ended up getting evicted. So we lost the house, and we just kind of all ended up homeless in a way. At that time is when I moved in with my now ex-partner, and the partner I've been in a relationship for the last 10 years. And that's kind of why we ended up being together for so long, I guess, because of scarcity. Like, I tried my best to move forward and restart my life, considering the circumstances. I was on survival mode for the past 10 years, trying to get my life back together while my folks were gone and we lost the house and everything. My brother, same thing. So far, we're kind of doing better for ourselves. My brother started a business. I went back to school. I got an associate's degree in studio arts. I got my license, even though I have driving anxiety, and I've tried to continue doing art. That's why I started this channel, as a way to kind of escape, the things that happened in my past. And that's why I was so reluctant to move back in with my folks, because it didn't seem like a good idea because of you know, our past, our shared past. Being with my folks has never been good. It's always not been great. Always living in scarcity, always living in survival mode. I didn't want to go through that again, but you know, here I am. Starting over. I am currently living with them and trying to get myself together. Planning on going back to school to, I guess, I want to continue with this channel. And I want to gain skills to help improve and make better content. And I also want to study, you know, psychology, because it fascinates me, like the human mind, like how it works, mental illness, and that's like regarding with my brother, my other brother. He has schizophrenia. He's had schizophrenia since he was 18. I've kind of had to mourn the person that he used to be, but I've noticed patterns, and I've noticed, like, you know, I've questioned, why is the healthcare system the way it is? Why are we not helping more, like, people who have mental illnesses such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder? I'm sure they are, but I feel like we could be doing so much more to be helping people with mental illnesses. So that's just something that I'm very fascinated and interested about, and that's why I guess wanted to mix like art with psychology, like art therapy, possibly as a future career, while also maintaining this YouTube channel. So that's something in the works, something that I'm working on right now. But as far as what happened in 2025, how my year progressed, I as you can see in some of the footage here, like I went to a wedding. This is a friend's wedding, my brother's friend that you can see right there. I spoke with her, and she noticed that I was not with my partner. My partner was in California, and I had come to this wedding with my brother that was in like San Luis Obispo. And she noticed that I was not doing well. Like, I didn't seem like I was having, you know, a good time at the wedding and everything, but she noticed like a deep sadness that I had, and it was because I did not feel fulfilled in my relationship with my then partner. I didn't feel like he was listening to me, that it just felt like he was completely disregarding my feelings, and I was trying my best to look past all of the issues that we had, like regarding his family, regarding like the infidelity that happened in like 2022, 2023 is when I found out about it. I was trying to take all the steps to move forward, to forgive him, to make our relationship work, but it just seemed like he wasn't really doing anything. That he just kind of just put a band-aid over the whole situation. And I was unhappy because I didn't feel like it was fair. That I was seen like I was overreacting, like I was the villain almost, for something that's completely, I guess, I feel like was justifiable. My anger, my insecurity. So that's when I had made the decision in May to leave. So I did. My brother and I planned it. He helped me pack and move out. And I guess I ran away to Vegas because he has family in Vegas. We have different fathers, so we're half siblings. So his birth father, bio father, was in Vegas, and I had spoken with him about my predicament, about my issues, and he was kind enough to let me stay in his home until I figured, you know, my situation out. So I did. I stayed for a little while and restarted my life. I adjusted myself to life in Vegas, and I tried to continue on with the YouTube stuff, but obviously not as much because I had to restart my life. I had to look for a job and I guess get reaccustomed to working, to fending for myself, which I'm familiar with, but it had just been a while since I had done something like that because I had become so financially dependent on my partner for quite a while that, you know, it took a little bit of readjusting, but, you know, I did it. And yeah, I was living in Vegas for several months. I was staying with my older brother's family for a month, and then I moved in with a roommate, a family friend, and a lot of things happened. I had a good time. I relearned to be independent. I got a scooter, and then I fell off that freaking scooter, as you can see here. I had a good time with the family. I explored a little bit. I got to experience what it was to be independent again. And not that I wasn't already familiar with that, but it's different when you're living with someone and doing things independently on your own, and then being just completely on your own, even though you kind of have somewhat of a support system, but not really, because you're still trying to figure things out on your own, and no one's like really helping you that much. Because in my case, I'm already an adult, so I had to figure things out on my own. After a while, there was, I guess, some issues with the family. They had I guess, family drama, and they didn't want me to get involved, so I ended up moving in with a family friend of theirs, and she was a really good help in the beginning, because we were actively like helping each other out, looking for work, and then eventually I was able to find a job because of her, so I am grateful to her for that. But our dynamic was not very good. It was kind of toxic, and like I try to look at it as a positive, even though it was not great, because she did expose me to a lot of negative things. Like, she was trying to like take pictures of me in swimsuits, and she was like out a lot, and she wouldn't come back until like really early the next day, and she would just be really moody and really angry, and her eyes would be bloodshot. She'd be cleaning really crazy, and I suspect a couple of things, but I really can't make any assumptions because I don't have any evidence, number one, and number two, I didn't really know her that well. Like, realistically, I only stayed with her for a couple months, and I didn't really get to know her super well. I knew about some of her issues, some of her family stuff, but not really. And near the end of me staying with her, which was like around mid-September, we weren't really talking to each other. We were just kind of roommates, which we were, but in the beginning we were like almost best friends, almost like sisters. We were helping each other out and doing crafts together and cooking together and going places together. And near the end, we weren't doing any of those things anymore. It was just, I came from work. Hi, how was your day? Good. Okay, I'm gonna go take a shower. I would take a shower, and then, okay, I'm going to bed, and that's it. And that was our interactions almost every day. So it kind of sucked a little bit. Like, we were like as you can see here, we were going out like as friends and doing things together, but we weren't friends anymore. And I don't feel like it was anything I really did, even though like I probably did do some things that frustrated her, but I'm not sure, honestly. Like, I tried my best. I was there when she was sick. I made her food. I comforted her. I with the little money that I had, I'd buy groceries. I would, ask her if she needed anything. Sometimes she would say, I'll pay you back, but she never really paid me back. So, I don't know, sometimes it felt like she was taking advantage of me, which she probably was. At one point, she wanted me to buy a car, even though, like, I didn't have the money for it. She was even trying to force me to drive her places, and, like, I didn't even have a like Nevada license. I had a California license still. I was like trying to transfer everything to Nevada, but in the end I didn't, because I was a part of me knew I was only going to stay in Nevada temporarily. So yeah, a lot of things happened during this time, but at the same time, like, I guess I gained a lot of experience. Like, it wasn't great, but now I know, like, not to be so trusting with people. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, overall the experience was not the greatest in terms of me moving in with this girl, but I did learn a lot, and now I know what it's like, I guess, to have a roommate. Not that I didn't already have that experience, because near the end of me living with my ex and his family, we were already roommates, and it's not like I wasn't helping out in the house, but it was different. It was a different dynamic dealing with someone and helping them out with like rent and things like that, and it just made me realize a lot of things about myself. I guess this whole experience made me realize that I'm very much like a people pleaser. Like, I try my best to be in other people's good graces and do my best for others, because I don't want to disappoint anyone. And it made me realize I can't be that way anymore. And that's what I'm referring to when I say like transformation, because it made me realize I can't continue on this way. Like, if I'm being honest, I want to become a better person, but I can't sacrifice myself for the needs of others, at least in this regard. I tried my best. I was very self-serving, very patient, even when other people, like, they blamed me for things that obviously were in their faults. I still took the blame anyways, and I still allowed it. Like, my roommate, she was blaming me, like saying I was moody and saying that I wasn't cleaning up after myself, and yet that was things that she was doing. I was always cleaning up after myself and cleaning the house, but she wouldn't do that. She would be at home all day. She wouldn't work. I would come home after an 8-hour shift and the house would just be a mess, and she expected me to clean up after her, even though she was the one who made the mess. So just little things like that. It made me realize, like, I can't allow that type of attitude to continue. Like, I can't keep just keeping my mouth shut and allow people to be stepping all over me, whether that's a partner, whether that's, roommates, whether that's my family. I can't keep allowing that to happen. If I want to progress as a person, if I want to become a better version of myself, I have to be a little bit more assertive and put my foot down when the time comes. And I honestly don't like to be confrontational. I really don't. But, sometimes you have to be. If you want people to respect you, you have to put your foot down and you have to be assertive. And it's okay to be a little bit selfish sometimes and tell people, no, I'm not going to accept that, or no, I don't believe that's right, or, just things like that. I need to learn to be that way. I've learned to be that way, but I need to do it more actively. That's something I'm still struggling even now. I still struggle with saying no to people, especially my family. That's like a big one for me, to say, no, I don't want to do that, or I just really don't. Like, I apologize, but I'm not at your disposal all the time. And, it's fine. It should be fair to be able to say no sometimes. You don't always have to be so self-serving to other people. You don't always have to be so nice to other people. Sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish. And that's something that I am accepting and realizing. And that's like one of the biggest lessons that I took from this experience. I realized I'm capable of doing things on my own. I can take care of myself. I know how to survive. I don't necessarily need another person to survive. That was a huge one for me, because it was so difficult for me to leave my partner of 10 years. It was very, very hard. It took a lot of convincing from my brother. But this whole experience of living in Vegas for almost 6 months, it made me realize, I'm fine. I don't necessarily need a partner to survive. I don't necessarily need a roommate either. And I don't necessarily need my family either, because my family was not there. My brother was not helping me. My folks weren't helping me. I was on my own. I was paying rent on my own. And a lot of the times I had to help them with other things in California, because I wasn't always there. I wasn't always available. So it just made me realize, I can survive on my own. I don't necessarily need someone to be there. But I guess I stuck around for so long because I wanted someone to be there for me. Like, my folks, they've made my life very difficult growing up. I've been in survival modes for so many years. And I guess with my ex-partner, he gave me a little bit of normalcy, kind of, to an extent. And it was nice. But I got very comfortable with that normalcy until that normalcy was not normal anymore. And I was just fine with the toxicity. I was fine with, being treated as lesser. And after a while, I just came to accept that that was my fate. Even though I knew deep down, that's not right. And that's not me. I did so much for others, and I don't feel like I deserved the treatment that I got. And then it also made me realize, I shouldn't have to put up with it if I can give it to myself. Yes, it would be nice to have a partner that can be there and, help you in the ways that you need help, love you in the ways that you need to be loved, cherish you in the ways that you need to be cherished. But it's not the end of the world if you don't have those things. Because at the end of the day, you can give those things to yourself. And that's what truly matters, that if, you can love yourself and be there for you when it matters most, then that's all you really need. You're not going to die if you don't have a partner. You're not going to die if your family isn't there for you. You're not going to die if your friends aren't there for you. Like, you can survive on your own. You can conquer the world on your own if you have to. It's doable. It will take a while, and you will feel lonely in the beginning. But then after a while, you look out and you see how far you've come. And you realize you're just a completely different person from the person you were before you made the big jump. And I think that's what truly matters, is that you have the power to become the person that you want to be, that you're intended to be. And you do that all on your own. You don't necessarily need others to do that for you. Blessed are those that do have that support system. But for someone like me who hasn't really had that support system, it's still doable. You could still do it.